right, from Boca Raton down to Salta Province in Argentina. Let's talk a little silver exploration with our friends from Argenta Silver, trading on the venture with AGAG and on the OTCQX with AGAGF. The sun's always a little bit brighter when Joaquin's here. Hey, Joaquin, good to see you.
Hey, Trevor. It's great to be with you here in Boca Raton. This is an amazing conference.
How's the last few days been?
Oh, it's been fantastic. A lot of interest from the investors, people coming and asking really sophisticated questions to us.
Good.
And that's good because it's showing that the potential investors, they know what they are doing, and the ones that are already shareholders, they are really interested in the company. They go through the information, they see our news releases, and they really understand what we are doing, and that's great to see.
Yeah, Fiore Group companies always take an entire wall of exhibit space over there, like a whole world in itself over there.
We will need our own conference at some point, right?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Why not? Just send it up to Frank. I bet he'd be.
But look, this is beside the joke. It's a lot of work from years. I joined the Fiore Group almost 5 years ago, and actually I joined when Frank was putting together a new technical team to create this new iteration of the Fiore Group. And he was clearly watching, or he envisioned what was going to happen now, and that's why he was arming himself with all this technical team, just preparing himself for this moment. And this is the fruition of that. It's a lot of companies from Western Lake, Copper Giant, Nations Royalty, and many other that are coming out on the pipeline, Argenta Silver. All these companies were created right for this moment that we are watching on the market, for this bull market that it's supposedly starting and that we would see growing from now on.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, let's jump right into the latest news from El Quevar down in Argentina. Start with the latest drill results coming out of Yaxtché. A 120-meter step-out hole extended the footprint again. What does this hole tell you about the continuity and scale? I mean, what do we learn from these holes?
Well, scale, we are starting to understand that this is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And doing these step-outs, it's fundamental for us because we are going to put or to prepare a new mineral resource. So we are going to work on a mineral resource update that is going to be happening on the first half of 2027. So going towards there and trying to get a new estimate requires new volume or more volume, new ounces, more ounces. And this is what these step-outs are telling us. These step-outs are actually telling us, look, the deposit is not finished here. You need to keep drilling. You need to keep expanding yourself. We already expanded the deposit by 270 meters with step-outs that were disclosed before, and this one it's 120 meters now away from the previous ones. So we are expanding the deposit by a lot. Some people have been asking us what is in between this and the resource. Is there more continuity? Are you going to drill in between? And exactly that's what we are doing now. We are drilling in between these step outs as well. Those results will be disclosed in the near future. But I have to tell you that, drilling 28 meters at the average grade of the deposit, so it was 28 meters with 446 grams per ton of silver, with some intercepts of above a kilogram per ton of silver. It's just fantastic for us. And to remind the audience, this is a pure silver play. I'm not reporting here any lead or any zinc, not because we don't want, it's because it's not in the rock. This is a true, pure silver play.
Yeah. The drilling's closing that gap between Yaxtché and Carmen.
Well, that's another, the other end. So the step out of 120 meters, it's in one end of the deposit. That's the northwest end. The northwest end is the one that is giving us these incredible grades, above 1 kilogram for many meters that we are drilling. So that's the 120 meter step out, northwest extension. On the southeast extension of the deposit, towards Carmen, what we did is we drill in between Carmen and the existing silver deposit. Just as a reminder, Carmen, it's a target that gave us an intercept of 44 meters with 0.57 grams per ton of gold and 0.58% of copper. So this is a gold copper target that it's right 300 meters north of the southeast extension of Yaxtché. What we did is we drill in between, and we have found what we call the connector, which is linking the gold copper discovery with the silver asset. And if you go to the news release, you will see a cross section there where you can see the silver on top and how silver is fading in towards the Carmen deposit. It's fading into gold and copper. It's very interesting to see that cross section. So I really suggest the people that is listening to go to the news release and watch at that section.
Are you understanding the geological controls here in this? I mean, where it transitions from the from copper, gold, base precious metal to dominantly silver? Do we have a good understanding of how this happened?
Well, that's a great question. So we know what are the general structural and geological controls. We know that there is a lot of control in terms of this breccia, that it's over-flooded with these fluids. We know that there are structures that are cross-cutting the deposit, and that the deposit, is a little bit offset here and there by these structures. Nothing major to be concerned about. But what is actually happening in between Carmen and Yaxtché? Well, these are news from this week. We are studying that, we are working on that, It's really new and we need to understand what's happening. But if the connector is showing that this transition, it's a transition from the same system, from precious metals into silver, or later base metals, which could be far away from where we are. If that's true, then we are facing a major mineralizing system here. Yeah. And that's why we are also envisioning deeper drilling in the future, trying to test the deeper portions of Carmen, trying to find where the source of all these fluids is coming.
Is it a copper-gold porphyry at depth there, you think?
Well, one thing is what I think, and the other thing is what could be there.
We just don't know. We don't know yet.
We don't know yet, right? Okay. So full disclosure here, forward-looking statements, what I think as a scientist, as a geologist, in general, when you have these kind of systems, usually you will have porphyries below and on the top the epithermal systems. What we see across the Andes is that usually the upper portion, so the epithermal systems, are being eroded. Yeah. That's what we call the unroofing of the system, right? So when you get to, for example, Filo or some of these systems, you will find mostly the porphyry down there, but you won't find the upper portions. Here, in this case, the volcanic complex hasn't been completely eroded. So we might have on the upper portions these epithermal systems that we see, and right below them there might be porphyries. And not one, but a cluster of porphyries, and that's the potential that we might be facing here.
Are you surprised about the potential thickness of the epithermal cap?
Well, when you consider that there are 20 volcanic apparatuses, one on top of the other, right inside our property, I'm not surprised, right? This is the second largest volcanic complex in the country, and I wouldn't be surprised that we will find giant things here. It could be very big, These systems, they are not small. These systems, they are not common on Earth. We are talking of a major volcanic complex in an area that has been barely explored. So if you check the previous news release that we put the previous week, we are disclosing that we found 20 new exploration targets,
right.
and that we are going to develop those 20 new targets. Each one of those have equal potential to become a deposit in the future or something like that. So we need to explore those. We need to drill better. We need to drill more. And who knows what is going to come out from those 20 targets. The important thing here is that we have enough material to work for the next decades.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we want to put in production the deposit that we know of. And that's the Yaxtché deposit. We want to bring the 50 million ounces into something larger. We want to achieve in between 75 to 100 million ounces of silver. And for that, we are working really hard on expanding the resource, and this news release that you just mentioned, it's part of that. Stepping out and making it bigger.
So how are you balancing, I mean, obviously the mineral resource update, but then you have these 20 new targets you want to go after. You know, would you potentially put a hold on the resource estimate to go after some of these targets, to potentially add, or are you kind of dead set on getting this resource estimate update out?
So from the first day that I put the company together, we set a strategy. So the strategy has been set just thinking about what was going to happen. And the strategy was, and still, that 40% of our capital allocation goes into the resource and 60% of our capital allocation goes into exploration. So exploration, it's trying to find the other deposits, trying to explore and go after those 20 new targets. But we need to understand that that strategy was created knowing the potential of what we are looking now. So we knew that we were going to find these kind of things. We knew that we were going to face something that was going to be very big. So, you know, it's like, what kind of rocks do you expect to find when you go to the moon? Right? Well, moon rocks are going to be there. So get the right tools to get those moon rocks, right? This was the same. We set up a company knowing that we were going somewhere. And I don't know if we are going to the moon with this, but, you know, we're getting closer to it.
Well, listen, there is potential here that a predominantly a silver explorer, which is Argenta Silver, becomes a multi-mineralized system district, maybe, if you want to go that far. I know it's kind of used willy-nilly anymore. But, like, you have potential here that it's more than just the silver, right?
No, you mentioned the right word. You mentioned a key word there, which is district. We don't want to call this anymore El Quevar project.
Okay.
We are starting internally to call this El Quevar District. That's what it was. The thing is that it was in care and maintenance for over a decade and nobody was exploring around. But when you see things, you have the silver resource, which is where the previous explorer worked mostly. But then you have all these other targets that are impressive, that will have a lot of good results, hopefully, in the future. And we are looking at those targets as gold, copper, or gold, or more silver.
Yeah.
You know, these are different targets. So it is a district. It's 57,000 hectares. So you could fit most of Vancouver, greater Vancouver, in the property. As I was saying to people in our presentation, we have an image where you have Manhattan Island within our property. You just need 1 or half block of Manhattan to have mineralization to make a mine.
Yeah. So
imagine all the potential that we have inside our property.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're going after 22,000 meters have already been drilled. 40% of your assays are still pending, so we have a lot of news flow with results coming down the pipeline, a lot of conversation for you and I to have in the future. But at the end of this program, what are those questions you think you're going to have asked and answered?
So answer the questions that we will answer ourselves. First of all, we have the metallurgy ongoing. So we send our samples. We sent 27 drill holes to get assay for metallurgy to Canada. So that metallurgy should be coming out by September this year. Then we are going to understand globally what is the metallurgy of the deposit. And that's going to be our own metallurgical test work with a lot of information. That's going to answer a lot of questions. And then with all this drilling, we will understand what's the size of this thing, what are the relations in between one system and the other. We are also doing geophysics. We have covered over 70 kilometers of geophysics, square kilometers. And this geophysics is also going to give us a lot of light in places that nobody was before, not even our surfers crews. So, you know, we have also run a huge amount of soils and mapping, and all this is also going to give us new ideas of where we have to go. So I think that, you know, one step at a time, as I've been saying always, doing things in order. Again, we need to know, everybody needs to know that we have built a company envisioning the size of the thing. You know, we want to go for the big prize, and that's why we are prepared to face these kind of things. as I say, if you go to the moon, you have to expect to find moon rocks there. we thought from the very beginning that this was going to be very, very big, and we started to prepare ourselves for that. And now we're getting to the places that we want to get because of that.
Yeah. All right. So lots of results pending here. You and I will be chatting probably every month. I hope so. So we can talk about how this thing is really shaping up through this drill program. And then months will start getting warmer again here eventually, and then you go hard at it later. I guess our winter here in the north, and things are already starting to get prepared for a bigger, better drilling project, you think, or program?
Yeah, of course. So 40% of our results are pending off lab. The truth is that we keep drilling, and we are still generating rock or producing rock that will go to the lab. We are drilling during the winter. We will be drilling exclusively on the resource during the winter.
Good.
When the summer picks up, we will start adding rigs or moving rigs to other portions of the property to properly drill the new targets. Sampling will keep going. We are also doing an environmental baseline that it's going to set the basis for the future engineering. So there's a lot of things happening, and of course we will pick up a lot more during the summer.
Yeah, very cool. On another note, I did notice Argentina is going to launch a Golden Visa program. I looked into this, Joaquin, because I was interested. Turns out that my investment capital into Canadian-listed companies working in Argentina does not count.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Is there anything you can do about that? Anybody you
I
can call?
I don't know if I can call someone, but I will read about that. It's very interesting. What I can tell you, and I hope that nobody's hating me because of this, but I can tell you that Argentina is doing really well on the World Cup.
Nobody noticed. They got a favor yesterday. A little bit of a favor.
Well,
how did you feel about that?
You know, it's discussable. I was watching an expert on soccer. He was put there on Fox, and the guy was telling that there were some things that were right and wrong. But it is sport, and sport has to be fair play. I think that Messi deserves a lot because he's doing great. But part of that it's the Argentine idiosyncrasy that we saw yesterday. A team that never stops when things get wrong. A team that gives everything for its own group, and that's the team idiosyncrasy from Argentina and the Argentines. And I have to say, on that sense, that in Argentina we have a great team of people working at El Quevar. Everybody understands perfectly where we are going, and they are so dedicated. So kudos to my team in Argentina, because they are doing great at El Quevar.
All right, well, if you're the Messi of El Quevar, who's the Enzo Fernandez of El Quevar?
Well, I will tell you, that's Guillermo Peralta. It's our chief geo.
There you go.
He's the one that is making every goal with his own brain, with his own head. So, we have an amazing team down there.
All right, awesome conversation. Joaquin, good to see you. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll talk to you again next couple weeks, all right?
Yeah, take care.
Right. Argenta Silver, everybody, that's your update. More coming here from Boca Raton, so do stay tuned. The information presented should not be considered investment advice. Mining Stock Daily and its affiliates are not responsible for any loss arising from any investment decision in connection with the material presented herein. Please do your own research or speak with a licensed financial representative before making any investment decisions.